FiiO always sends me pretty much everything in their collection despite me not liking most of them, and for that I have to say thank you, FiiO. You guys are amazing. They do make very good products. I enjoyed their portable players the most. I use the M11S personally, and I think they shine the best in that territory. And another thing they do really well is build quality and aesthetics. FiiO stuff just looks amazing. All the accessories that comes with their items are premium. The one thing that I think they always need work on is tuning. And in today's review of the FiiO FT5, that's exactly what I'll be criticizing. Not the build quality, because I think it's very sexy and well built, looks amazing. Not the comfort level, because I think it's fairly comfortable. Not the accessories, because I think the accessories are pretty luxurious. It's the tuning. Just how this thing sounds could have been better. Hey friends, Tim here, welcome back to FiiO and Guess Audio. Today we have a review of the FT5, and also later on we'll be comparing it to the Moondrop Para as well. Now, the FiiO FT5's tuning has a lot going for it. I like the upper mid-range, and I especially like the treble area. What I don't like are the lower mids and the bass. It's muddy. Now, muddiness in the lower mid-range causes the bass to sound like it's very forward, like there's a lot of bass, there's good sense of bass decay, but overall the bass sound not as dynamic as they should. The bass hits are not as authoritative. They're there's a lot of bass, but it just doesn't grab your attention. And also, muddiness in the lower mid-range affects instruments and vocals very heavily. In male vocals, they just come across too heavy, unnaturally heavy. In female vocals, they come across with more weight to them, not as unnatural sounding, surprisingly, when compared to the male vocals. Male vocals here definitely sounds quite unnatural, especially if their voice is more naturally deep and heavy already. The FiiO FT5 just makes them sound extra heavy, extra deep, unnaturally so. And muddiness also hinders the overall separation between instruments. The mid-range just sounds more congested overall due to the amount of bass that bleeds into the lower mids. As you can see, majority if not all the things I don't like about the FT5 has to do with the muddiness. Everything else in the tuning is fine. Especially the treble area is very revealing and quite nuanced. Some people who are more sensitive to treble might think it's piercing, but for me it just comes across as very detailed. So the only issue really is that muddiness. I just really don't like that part of it. But the fact that it is an open back headphone has some advantages here, and not in the way that you might think. The advantage I'm talking about is EQing. Yay! Yes, the most exciting thing in the hobby. Now, the only reason I don't recommend EQ for IEMs and closed back headphones that you might use outside of your house is because EQ is a pain in the ass when you have to use it outside of your house. Not everyone wants to mess with EQ when they're out and about. But with open back headphones, the only time you would ever use them is at home. You're never using this outside. You're always using it with your setup, so why not use EQ? I'll leave my own EQ of the FT5 down below if you don't want to EQ yourself if it's too complicated, and just download my EQ, use that one. Next, let's compare the FT5 to the Moondrop Para. Now, I love the Para. I reviewed the Para. I'll leave that link down in the description below. Between the FT5 and the Para, without EQ, the Para wins by a mile. It's open, it's clean, it's clear, it's natural. It just doesn't have a lot of bass for those of you who love more bass, but the bass on the Para sound very punchy and authoritative. This, on the other hand, is more blunted, it's congested. The only thing I would say the FT5 does better than the Para is in the treble, is more revealing in the detail. It doesn't sound as natural as on the Para and the decay, but it has more detailed, more treble nuances, if you will. But that's the only thing. The rest of it, I would say the Para does so much better. I'm not going to factor EQ into the comparison because you can easily do some EQ on the Para to add more bass or make it sound more similar to the FT5 style of signature as well. So there's no point really factoring EQ into the comparison. So to keep it very fair, the Para is just a much better headphone than the FT5 out of the box. Though I do like the aesthetics of the FT5 a lot more than the Para. I think it's just more professional, studio-like, sexier. The Para is just, it's alright. Alright, that's it for my review of the FT5. My final verdict is an orange thumb. The reason it's not a red thumb is because there are some good qualities about it that you can use EQ to kind of bring it to life, but otherwise, out of the box is just not something that I would listen to. And with that being said, thank you so much for watching this video all the way to the end. I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace out. Bye.